Welcome to Take It or Break It. Ooh,
It's time.
bitch time,
You know
baby.
what time it is. You know what time it is.
Bitch time.
Yeah, so let's cut to the quick, man.
I got my drink here tonight.
Hey, I don't think we have time to beat around the bush. No pretense today. Let's get right to the real stuff.
All right, sure, whatever.
What do you want? What do you want out of life, Corbin?
I've got a headache right now.
Okay, that has nothing to do. What do you want with this? What do you want in life?
I don't know.
Overall.
I wish I made more money, I guess.
Doing what?
Writing, podcasting, things like that.
You kind of want to do exactly what you're doing, but for it to be more profitable.
Yeah, more or less. And I would probably like to be doing more of it. Maybe not I feel like I'm probably podcasting enough.
Right, probably too much, maybe.
Yeah, sometimes I'll worry, honestly.
Yeah. Well, the craving for content, it's out there. It's rampant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why? Sorry, why is this the pretense for the beginning of this episode exactly?
It was just something I was wondering.
What does Corbin want from life?
Yeah.
I had a conversation with my therapist last week.
Oh, yeah? What'd they have to say?
Hey, what do you value? What do you, are you doing, your values? Shit like that.
What's your praxis like?
Yeah, I'm sure. Why not?
What's the Venn diagram looking like between practice and practice? Is it a circle?
I guess. I don't do much that's unethical, I don't think.
You don't?
I don't know. Do I?
I don't know. Sometimes you slander basketball players baselessly.
Oh, like Zion Williamson?
Well, there's one example, yeah.
What? All right. I'm sorry. What other basketballs do I slander?
Basketballs? Oh,
Spalding's.
Spalding.
Trash.
Yeah.
Nike Pro Max. Trash.
Yeah. Slander.
Beach balls that look like basketballs. Garbage.
Right. Yeah. Nerf basketball for like the house hoop dunk.
Yeah. Fuck that garbage. Fuck that trash. Ooh, man, I could use a little Nerf hoop in the office, I think.
I have like the high grade, house basketball hoop.
You what?
It's like nice. It's got like a metal rim and everything. I don't actually use it because in my old apartment I had like high ceilings and a lot of extra space.
Uh-huh.
And my roommate and I had pretty involved games of horse. I'm not gonna pretend we didn't break two windows.
Mm-hmm.
We would just do extremely elaborate things. Just bounce the ball. You'd have to bounce the ball off of like 3 walls and then do an alley-oop to yourself and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
And, it was a lot of fun. And
but now you live in a sardine box.
It's not a sardine box. It's actually pretty big, but there's more walls in my apartment. There are rooms, and none of the individual. I don't have high ceilings either, which is fine because they're tall enough. But there are a lot of these buildings in Chicago with very high ceilings. I no longer live in one.
Oh, Wilmes, I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's not actually supposed to inspire pathos. You know what does inspire pathos recently, though, for me?
I actually don't know. For those who can't tell, this is a very Wilmes Demanded It episode we've got today.
It's the ongoing saga of Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah, that person.
So what happened was I tweeted, I like Kevin Durant now. Pathos, baby.
Uh-huh.
And then at Schmendrick Lamar, a listener, big shouts to Schmendrick, said, you and at Corbin A. Smith love pathos and drama, but hate Russell Westbrook, and it is deeply troubling to me.
Uh-huh.
So.
I don't think I like pathos quite as much as you, but.
I wouldn't say that I necessarily like pathos so much as like it has a lot of pull. It does it for me. It brings me in.
I want more water.
Hey, Corbin, this is off topic. Your water situation is off topic.
Okay. That's the pathos I'm feeling right now.
That doesn't count.
I have some syrup on my desk. Maybe I could just pour syrup into this cup.
None of this stuff registers on the pathos scale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, eating pancakes isn't very pathodic.
So I'm pathetic, you mean?
It is a little pathetic, honestly.
Yeah. Well, a little bit, yeah. But so I want to address this.
Okay.
So the pathos of
I
Russell.
want to address the issue.
The pathos of Russell Westbrook is real. I mean, there are times when I see him doing what he does, which is shooting his team out of the game due to some sort of insane pathology and some sort of weird Kobe poisoning. But like, I think it's even less rational and understandable than that, and more impulsive than that. Honestly, when you see Russell go into hero mode into the end of a game when he has one of his 10 for 33 performances or whatever in a game that they have to win in the playoffs, and he looks everyone off, and he takes shots that even on a good night he shouldn't be taking, like from like 3-pointers, for instance. That's not his shot.
No, he's bad. No, he's bad at shooting 3-pointers.
He's incredible at getting to the rim, so he should do a lot of that. He's incredible at mid-range pull-ups, so he should do those. He's a pretty good passer. I mean, there's a certain debate to be had there about how good of a passer he is, but he's a good passer. So there is a pathos that happens when he does this. It's sort of like, ooh, shit, ooh, this is hard to watch, you know? I think it's more just sort of painful and excruciating than it is pathos inspiring, though. For me, because I feel like it's just like so self-administered. I feel like it's you know, and like he has completely isolated himself and kept himself in the situation where he's going to be like John Wayne, you know, shooting 100 bad guys at once as they corner him, and inevitably, you know, he gets a bunch of them, but inevitably, they're going to get him.
John Wayne gets it in the gut.
He chose this.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, it's similar.
You feel like his pathology is the pathology of American individuality, which isn't as interesting to you anymore.
It's not as interesting to me. I feel like there's, with KD...
I agree with that too, I think.
And I think it's similar. We talked about Melo recently, where it's like, I don't feel bad for Melo or anything.
Nah.
I don't hate on it either. It's just sort of like, you chose to do this. You chose to have...
everything Melo did in his career was like,
he had a lot of options.
Yeah, and he sort of perpetually kept taking the one where Melo got to be John Wayne, and sort of perpetually kept like fucking losing.
And it's just the way it is. You know, he chose big market, big money, you know, central role.
Hats.
In hats, in funny, weird hats. You know? So I'm fine with what's happened with him.
The Knicks, especially, like, he just, like, car bombed that team.
Right. I mean,
because they had a bunch of young, decent prospects, and he just said, please get rid of all these assholes for me. Thank you.
Right, because he could have just waited not even a full year, right?
Yeah. He was a free agent at the end of that season, as I recall, and he just, like... he
was like, oh, I don't want to go to a team with talent because I want to be the talent.
Yeah. And and it was just like, and that's what Westbrook does, man. He's like,
to an extent, you have to give him props for building an alliance with Paul George, and sort of recruiting him and bringing him to bringing him into his circle.
But like Paul George,
by the way, he doesn't play particularly well with him, and the Thunder have been better without Westbrook this year.
They have. That's pretty funny.
I mean, that's not even a debate.
Miss.
It's just true. He came back last night and they lost.
Oh.
And they had been winning.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, is that he doesn't win so much.
No, but and so it's just all very tired.
I mean, I've liked a loser before.
I've liked a loser before myself.
I don't know if I can think of a loser I like in the NBA right now, though.
I used to love Westbrook, is the thing, and then KD left, and the it was a dynamic thing to me.
Yeah,
it was the KD Westbrook dynamic, and it's not well remembered, but there were games when Westbrook would just like absolutely maximize his athleticism without any of the hero ball shit, and like off the ball defensively, just like getting rebounds and loose balls and stuff, and just like being a monster in that way, and letting KD just like take all the shots and just like cook on dudes. That was when the Thunder were unbeatable. And they should have beaten the Warriors in 2016. But like that hero ball shit kicked in, and it became really hard to watch. And it did not inspire pathos for me. It was just like, motherfucker, what are you doing? Like, and he's trying to like back down on Iguodala and shit. And I'm like, you're not going to do that.
The thing about it is that like, it's so egoist. Egotistical seems like a word for it. But what I'm trying to say is that it's so aggressively about the fulfillment of self that like, what am I? That's not usually that interesting to me. I don't think in anything.
No, it's not for me either. Whereas, okay, so let's move on to Kevin Durant. Whereas with Kevin Durant, I feel that there is a genuine struggle, a genuine, sincere struggle there, where he can't figure out the right thing to do.
What's a movie about an individual, about like an individual's fight?
For what?
Whatever.
Their own glory.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everything with John Wayne. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just every American movie for like 50 years was that, basically.
Yeah. Well, Westbrook's like one of those, which I don't usually watch.
Which shouts to Spike Friedman. He's probably going to reply to us with like some revisionist cinephile shit. Like, okay, so, maybe Spike, you want to come on sometime and provide some
Wilmes, you need to stop getting mad at people who talk to us on the internet.
You know what? I love Spike Friedman. I'm just saying, you should come on sometime and provide some more refined NBA cinephilia hybrid.
I also think he's wrong about Nolan, because there's nothing like particularly, because Nolan's like a slickster, and there's nothing slick about Jimmy Butler.
Well, right, that's what
Spike. For those who don't intimately follow me and Wilmes' Twitter conversations, Spike Friedman, a frequent friend here at Take It or Break It, sent us a message when we said that Jimmy Butler was a David Fincher movie, and he said no, he's a Jonathan or he's a Chris Nolan movie.
Right.
But that guy's like a slickster, and that's not what Jimmy Butler
Well,
is.
I think the sort of fake profundity, he's onto something there with the Nolan Jimmy Butler stuff. But I would like to hear his more developed take on that. So, you know what, Spike, you'll have to come on sometime. But in regards to Kevin Durant, I repeat, there's a sincere struggle there. I think he's really trying to figure out what the right thing to do is for himself, for his legacy, for like the future of the game. And, he hasn't figured it out. And he's genuinely sad that everybody hates him. And he genuinely invests in these like blowhard pundits and what they say about him, which is all negative and has been for years. And I think he's just like trapped in this like horrible trajectory of misery. And he basically made a decision that most people would make when he went to the Warriors. Do you want to move to a more pleasant location to have the most possible success with the coworkers that you like the most, and also make more money because your advertising potential will probably increase? Mm-hmm. Most people would make that decision.
They would.
And so he did it. And everybody hates him for something that they personally would probably do. But that was okay for a while because he at least had his fan base, which is considerable, the Warriors fan base, and his team. But now those people also hate him, and basically everyone hates him. And he's one of the best of all time. And it's just a weird sort of icky situation that he's found himself in.
And you're into it. It's like what I was saying is that you know what movie Kevin Durant is like?
Which one?
He's like a Mike Lee movie.
Like by who? What did Mike Lee direct?
Secrets and Lie, Leigh when you're searching there. I don't know what you've seen, but he directs like a British movies about working class people and they're sort of
Happy Go Lucky. I've seen that one.
Yes, Happy Go Lucky and Another Year.
Starring what's her face, Sally Hawkins.
Hawkins. She's unbelievable in that movie. It should be said.
That movie is dark, dude.
It's pretty light on the Mike Lee scale.
Okay, well, maybe I won't watch too many of his movies because I like dumb, airy bullshit personally.
Wait,
Because
really?
life itself is hard enough, honestly. I don't need to watch movies that are like, look at how hard life is.
Do you
I
think
like to watch.
Happy Go Lucky's about that? I don't think that's what Happy Go Lucky's about.
I mean, I saw it 10 years ago when it was in the theaters, so I don't
Yeah.
really remember
I
what
mean,
it's
I did
about.
too. I did too, but I also watched it last year or so.
I just remember sequences of it where I was like, "Oh man, life is weird," and it was pretty compelling. She was like, as the title describes, a happy-go-lucky person
Mm-hmm.
who just gave everyone the benefit of the doubt and just found herself in a lot of bizarre situations as a result. It seemed
Yeah, but
like
mostly she found fulfillment from those situations.
you'll have to refresh me,
Well,
but or
mostly she developed like good relationships with people, but there were one or two people who it went south. But there's other movies Mike Lee's made where it's just people making bad decisions and or difficult decisions and like difficult things happening to them. And I think that's what Durant's kind of like, is that he's like a sensitive person who is affected by the way that people feel about him, you know? And like his life is like pivoting around weird relationships. Anyway,
but not his relationship with Draymond. That one's normal.
that is kind of normal, but
Yeah, so Kevin Durant there's a lot of literary quality in what he's going through, I feel like. Russell Westbrook, no literary quality. I would never read that book.
yeah, it's
Would just be like chapter 29. Westbrook, yet again, went insane and acted like an asshole, and the Thunder lost.
it's the pathos of a hammer hitting a brick wall.
I don't feel that sad for the guy swinging that hammer over time.
Yeah.
At first, it's like, oh, I get you. You didn't fit. You're having a hard time figuring this out. But then eventually, it's like you realize what's happening here, right?
Yeah, like you can't get through the wall with that little hammer.
You just can't do it. It's you need more. Where I think Durant is, I just genuinely, I don't think anyone understands like how to deal with the situations that he gets himself into, right? Like 2016, what is he going to do? Go back to the Thunder? He didn't like it there. He didn't like playing with Westbrook.
Who does?
Who would? And so where are you going to go instead? Are you going to like force yourself to go to some middling situation so you can quote unquote build a contender?
Yeah, or are you going to go to a great team that has enough cap space for you?
Yeah, are you supposed to go to some like worse team just to like satisfy the fan base mindset? Like, no, of course not. But like, who would do that? That's dumb. Like, what if I went out and I was trying to find a date or something and everybody was like, well, you shouldn't date this person you want the most because other people will become jealous. So don't do that. And I'd be like, well, I actually probably shouldn't consider other people's jealousy necessarily, right? Why would I do that? That's dumb. Like, they should get over themselves. We should all get over ourselves, frankly, or put our crosshairs on the real circumstances, right? It's not Kevin Durant's fault that the Warriors found themselves in a once in a century situation to sign him because of just incredible luck in the draft and with Steph's health, because they didn't have him on a max contract at the time because he was still on the contract they signed him to when maybe his ankles weren't going to work. It's just an insane situation. And there was also like the cap rose right at the right time for them. It was all stupid. If we put our crosshairs on the right thing, we just have this very variegated and sort of dry set of circumstances to sort of criticize. But who cares about that? What we care about is the sort of weird, sloppy human mess that he's finding himself in right now. Sadly, of course, none of this conquest has made him happy. Right?
Of course not.
So again, it's not
in
even
fairness,
like
what makes anybody happy, you know?
Well, exactly. And then we talk about Kevin Durant and we come to that question, which makes him interesting, which makes him human. We don't usually have that question.
I think that what Westbrook does probably makes Westbrook happier than Durant doing what Durant does. Does that make sense?
It absolutely does.
I think that Westbrook has the sort of perspective where he gets to say, like, I gave it my all for the game, you know, and all that stuff. And, you know, and like, where he gets to, like, find validation from his application. But Durant doesn't get that or find that anywhere.
No. He's mad all the time.
Yeah.
He's telling fans to fuck themselves. He's secretly... In fairness, and that's the other thing too. He gets fined $25,000 by the league, whatever, because he says, "Shut the fuck up and watch the fucking game," to somebody who's sitting courtside.
Yeah, who the fuck knows what that person's saying to him?
First of all, who knows what that person said? Second of all, if I was that person and I was mouthing off to Kevin Durant and he said that to me, I wouldn't even necessarily feel like I deserved that. I would probably feel more like, oh, that was awesome. That was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Durant just yelled at me. Like, I paid however much money for this courtside seat, multiple hundreds of dollars. I feel like I just got my money's worth. Like, Kevin Durant said, fuck you. That's kind of cool. This is a very tactile experience all of a sudden. This is very interactive and immersive. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's cool.
You think that every NBA game should be like this?
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, I don't think
Look, this is what I'll say. If I had access to a Star Trek holodeck, I would boot up a program that put me in the crowd of the Malice at the Palace.
I certainly would. Yeah, I would definitely want to experience that. Like, I don't think players should just, like, randomly target fans and be like, you have the worst fucking mustache I've ever seen.
I do actually think they should do that. I don't really know what your problem with it is.
I think if
your haircut is fucking trash.
But I think if you're sitting close to the court and you're trying to start shit with players and they say something, like, you're inviting that. Like, if I was just walking around on the street and I was like, fuck you, dude. And that person said, like, hey, you're kind of skinny and strange looking. I'd be like, fair. I did just say fuck you.
Strange looking.
Pretty normal looking, I guess. Yeah. But that's beside the point. Also, I'm not proud of it, but there was a time in my life when I did heckle a professional athlete. And I don't feel great about it.
Who'd you heckle?
But it was just, you know who it was? It was Alfonso Soriano.
The Cubs batter?
Yeah, he was on the Cubs at the time, and I was on the south side of Sox-Cubs game. Uh-huh. And those games...
Hey, the south side, wet beef.
You got to stop saying these bullshit cliches with a bad fake accent.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry.
I'm within my rights to be offended by that shit.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You know, I don't make jokes about you riding a moped to go get an artisanal spool of yarn or whatever.
Okay. A moped?
I don't know, whatever, dumb, obscure shit people in Portland do. I don't need to...
the yarn. Yeah, you got us on that one. But
right, the moped.
Have you heard one of the episodes where I talked about this store in Portland that sells wine, giant blocks of salt, and artisanal chocolate bars, and basically nothing else?
Did you go there?
Yeah.
Is it pretty good?
I haven't had occasion to get a bar yet. I mean, the only one of those things that I really need is a bar, I think, of chocolate, but
everybody needs one of those.
Yeah. But like single origin fucking 80% cacao type joints. God damn it. They're the stupidest fucking foul just happened in this fucking Blazers game. Anyway.
So anyway, I heckled Alfonso Soriano. My godfather and godmother used to have season tickets to White Sox games, but there are 81 of them a year, so they didn't go to all of them.
Yeah, it kind of seems like
a lot.
Seems like maybe too many tickets.
Well, they shared them. I have a very large family, so we would all share them.
I have so many family members.
I just literally do. How many cousins do you think I have on my mom's side, Corbin?
You're Catholic, so it's actually probably quite a lot. 20?
It's like 34.
Fuck, what?
Yeah, I have a lot, dude. I wasn't kidding. My mom has 7 sisters. And
I
5
have.
brothers.
Let's see. Are you just first cousins? Are you talking right now? Right.
First cousins.
Your mom has 7 sisters, and you have 35 cousins.
7 sisters and 5 brothers.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
I have on my mom's side. 5.
On my dad's side, I have 4.
That's
more normal.
And actually, it's 4 because one of my cousins died very young. So like before I was even born. So 4. I have 4.
But so me and my many cousins and aunts and uncles and stuff, we would all use these tickets, and they were like
35.
Something like that. I haven't done an inventory in a while.
Oh my lord! Are people over there still having babies?
I think we're done now on my first cousin's front. Now some of my cousins are having babies now.
Uh-huh.
So there's a whole.
They're all naming them John.
Well, it's none yet. I do have a cousin named Johnny. That will happen eventually, I'm sure.
All right.
But there will be a lot of them. So.
How many kids do you have?
I don't have any.
Huh. You ever think about having some, or?
Not really. I don't have a good situation for just taking my semen and putting it into one of those uteruses.
Uteruses. Yeah.
Right. If you got to find a loving woman who makes a lot more money than me and wants to host my semen in her uterus. I haven't really found that particular circumstance just yet. So, and then it would also have to be the case that I would be sure that I want children, which is not the circumstance that I currently live in. But so I was yelling at Alfonso Soriano. These games get very, very rowdy, particularly on the side. I mean, they get very rowdy on the south side and on the north side, but I'll be honest about White Sox fans. We're very resentful of Cubs fans. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty one-way relationship too, if I'm being honest. Cubs fans don't really think about White Sox or the White Sox fans very often.
That's weird though, because the White Sox have been like as or more successful than the Cubs, right?
I mean, growing up, they were almost always better, but it's been so long that since the White Sox,
they won a title in the 2000s.
2005. I mean, that was it's a long time ago now.
I think you're being a little whiny, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying, I'm not being whiny. I'm just telling you, right. Cubs fans don't. That was around then, though. That was around like 2006 or something, and so there was a lot of tension at that point. Mm-hmm. And White Sox fans were really drunk on our superiority, and people were getting in a lot of fights, and there was a lot of screaming. It was a Friday afternoon game. Everybody in the stadium was pissed drunk, and I wasn't, but I was feeding off of that energy, and I was just like, fuck you, Alfonso Soriano, and just screaming like for most of the game, really.
Yeah. Evan Turner just sealed this bad boy.
Oh, congratulations to Evan Turner.
Yeah, 118, 114. Eat it, Knicks.
He's going to go get a big block of salt from that store.
Yeah, he's in New York, so.
He's gonna fly right back for that salt block, baby.
Yeah.
But
when I described the store to Gunderson recently, he said, "Oh yeah, I know that store. I bought my girlfriend salty shot glasses there."
Classic, dude.
Yeah. So,
did you listen to Evan Turner on the Low Post?
No, I haven't had occasion to. I've heard it's good.
I heard it was awesome. I haven't listened to it yet either.
Yeah,
he's
actually a pretty engaging guy.
I frequently, if I see that the guest on a mainstream NBA podcast is like a player. I'm usually like, I don't want to listen to it.
Yeah, I usually skip it too, because usually they're pretty guarded.
Yeah, players have such controlled messaging. If it's a retired player, I'm like all in. That's my favorite, because they're like, all right, I'm going to tell my stories now.
Yeah.
But they don't tell a lot of stories
they're
when they're
playing.
Say
things like, you should see all the people I saw Magic Johnson fuck.
Right, exactly. It's also the case that even if they weren't particularly guarded, like active players, they just don't have – their lives move very quickly. There's not a lot of time for reflection and like processing these stories and realizing which of them are interesting for other people. It's just a lot happening. And so they're just like, yeah, whatever. I practice with the team and I go to the gym and, oh yeah, Draymond, he's a funny guy. Yeah, sure. But then like some years pass and they're like, actually, Draymond did something kind of fucked up this one time. You might want to hear about it.
He nailed my hand to a cross. he put a crown of thorns on my head.
He would do that to Kevin Durant.
Yeah, he would. Ugh, he wants to so bad.
You can
just see it in his fucking eyes every game. How much he wants to crucify that guy.
Not entirely. It would be a little on the nose, I think.
If an NBA player was going to get crucified in some sort of ritual, like who do you think it would be?
It would be Kevin Durant.
It would be Kevin Durant. Do you feel like it's happening now?
Yes, it's clearly happening.
So if there's like a Photoshop of Kevin Durant like with the crown of thorns and shit, you'd be like, yeah, there's a lot of truth there.
I mean, I think there's always an NBA player
who would be, you know how in a Catholic or Christian symbology, there's a guy who pokes Jesus' side with a lance.
No, I don't.
Oh, who do you think is wielding the lance?
Draymond.
Do you think he's smiling at the painter? Like, ooh.
Oh yeah, Draymond's always smiling at the audience. He's like, you know what? That I'm gonna fuck with the narrative of the league right now. I'm Draymond Green. I'm gonna punch LeBron James in the balls, and it's gonna completely remix the history of this era. Watch this shit. Like Draymond loves to be like the agent of chaos that completely messes up the whole narrative, the whole story, and who knows what will come from him next. That's what I love about Draymond. You never know.
I hope that Draymond isn't on the Warriors forever. I hope that Draymond gets to be on a bad team someday.
Well, our good friend Alex Keeg is a known Warriors fan, and Draymond is his favorite, but he also has a desire close in his heart, and that's for Draymond to play for the Pistons.
Yeah. Oh, really? Interesting. Because of the Michigan
it's
thing?
Both. It's going home, and it's also like, if Draymond goes to the Pistons, it's a bad boy revival. Mm-hmm. There's no way it can be anything else.
It would be really fucked if he played with
Blake.
Yeah, Blake.
They would get in a fight immediately.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even survive a single practice.
I want Draymond to play for the the Wizards is the dream, but I don't think those are going to line up. Like a fifth seeded Magic team.
That would be so funny.
Hey,
what's up?
Why isn't my headphones working?
I don't know.
Is this Spike?
Yeah, this is Spike.
Hey, Spike.
Yeah, hey.
We got Spike Friedman here. I didn't know this was happening.
What's up, young king?
Oh, man. Look, guys. Oh, there we go. Are you coming through my ear now?
Yes, as usual.
There we go. Let's go. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Sorry, guys. There's a little rock and roll music coming up. I'm literally getting in my car. Corbin could not wait 30 fucking seconds for me to get ready. How's it going, boys?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. It just seemed like the easiest thing to do. It's good. Spike, I've invited you on because we were talking about us on the internet.
Oh no.
And saying that we were wrong about what kind of movie Jimmy Butler was. And I just want you to defend your position.
My position is highly defensible. My position, so you guys were saying, and look, let's really break it down. You're breaking down the film-movie divide, and you're saying correctly, your basic position on Jimmy Butler is correct, which is that he is a movie made by a director who believes himself to be a filmmaker, but is not good enough to execute on the scale of his own ideas, and therefore just comes across as like kind of a dipshit. So that is like a fundamentally correct way to assess Jimmy Butler in the film-movie divide. The real question is what director, and y'all, Corbin glibly, and I want to say glibly with like a lot of emphasis because he just throws out David Fincher, not having seen the film Zodiac. And the fact that he hadn't seen the film Zodiac was you guys just moved on, and he didn't look at all of the movie makers out there who aspire to be filmmakers but lack any of the necessary skills or regard for storytelling. And to me, clearly, Jimmy Butler is a latter day Christopher Nolan production,
like
of Dark Knight
like
Rises,
Inception, or
yeah, exactly, because he is that big budget filmmaker, but really what he's actually good at is making like a comic book movie that like Reddit trolls jerk off to, and that to me is Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is like a comic book movie that Reddit trolls jerk off to.
I mean, I can't disagree with you, but to be totally specific, we did say that the David Fincher movie that represents Jimmy Butler is Fight Club.
It's literally Fight Club. I mean, it's Fight Club. It isn't.
I understand.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, Spike.
Look, I understand, but I feel like even Fight Club has more going on than Jimmy Butler.
Wow.
And yeah,
that is honestly the coldest thing I've ever heard anyone say about Jimmy Butler.
Look, this is not a pro Jimmy Butler podcast by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm sitting here flabbergasted that you could say that about a human being.
I mean, the best you can say for Jimmy Butler is that he is needlessly cruel in his above averageness, and that's fine. Like that's fine. That's something. Like there's something there, and I guess in the way that like there's something there with Fight Club, but also it's mostly nonsense. Like I guess, but like that's like you're cherry picking within the Fincher oeuvre. And you're really putting a real positive spin on Jimmy Butler at the same time to get to that confluence.
All right.
When there are just other worse directors out there. I've been like ruined because I was like, who's the P.T. Anderson of basketball players off of? Is it Jordan? Like, is it? But that seems crazy.
Well,
so
Jordan
I don't know, man.
Jordan is very Phantom Thread.
I was thinking he's very There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, that too. I mean, but he's both, if you don't mind me saying. Jordan is definitely a P.T. Anderson movie with one lead.
Yeah.
Sort of
like he's not the Magnolias or the Master or Inherent Vice. He is he is There Will Be Blood. He is Punch Drunk Love. He is Phantom Thread.
I think the most Jordan scene in a PTA movie might be in There Will Be Blood when they're at the steak restaurant and he's really like pouring it on to that business enemy of his.
Yeah.
And he puts the napkin over his face to taunt him so his son can't see. That's 100% a Jordan move.
Incredible. Yeah. But then Phantom Thread is more like crying Jordan.
Yeah. And then I think Punch Drunk Love is Wizards Jordan.
Oh man. That might be right. I don't feel qualified to fully assess Wizards Jordan at this moment. We need to do more research.
Yeah, it's also been a minute since I've seen Punch Drunk Love, if I'm being totally honest with you. I used to watch it a lot.
It's a very good movie, but the central figure in it is only like it's just a flailing, overwhelmed Jordan.
I feel like Adam Sandler was in multiple movies, basically that and Funny People, that very clearly, like his participation in them and I assume, his ostensible understanding of the themes of the movies very clearly displays that he understands that his career is bullshit, but that he also like just keeps, after those movies, he just keeps making bullshit movies. And at that point, you know that he knows he's making complete bullshit.
Yeah,
and that was one of the most depressing things I ever watched in terms of a Hollywood person's career arc.
Like if you back to back Punch Drunk Love and Grown Ups 2 or something.
Right, it's sort of not too far off from what ended up happening with his career, basically.
Kind of seems like it's what he wants, though, right? I mean, he is a very deeply unreadable man, I will say. Like, I do not understand what drives that guy.
No.
Because I think what drives him is he wants to hoop. Like, as I understand it, on like the set of A Grown Ups 2, he makes them build a full basketball court that he can play on between takes, to the point where like they will then like miss shots or miss whole sequences on a given shoot day and have to extend shoots and go over budget because like he'll get so sweaty they'll have to redo his makeup, but he's simultaneously like directing the movie and in it, and like they just like forget to shoot shit like while he's back in the makeup chair after playing like 20 minutes of half-court ball just like dunking on Kevin James. So
is that why Kevin James is in the movie? Because he's easy to take off the dribble?
A frequent collaborator of latter-day Sandler, just so we can own him in basketball.
I mean, Rob Schneider. Yeah. Can you imagine owning Rob Schneider in basketball? I would never stop making love to my wife afterwards.
The horrifying. I just imagine not owning Rob Schneider in basketball and like never making love to my wife again.
Yeah, I would never have
your wife goes to give you the backhand caress, and you just draw away because all you can see is Schneider floss dancing on you after he fucking
after she just jerk step back after step back over you. Just pouring it in, unrelenting.
All right, so Spike, let's talk about some more guys in movies.
Yeah, we like this conversation too much. Will you continue having it with us, Spike?
Yeah. Oh my God, please! I am stuck in traffic.
And look. Once again, we have inadvertently ripped off Roundball Rock, who did an excellent episode this week, where they talked about which sex scene every general manager in the NBA is, including an answer for the Chicago Bulls that is probably the funniest thing that's ever been said on a basketball podcast.
It's one of the funniest things that I've ever heard. Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but go check out that episode of Roundball Rock as soon as you possibly can. Anyway, Wilmes, who are we talking about?
I'm interested in Spike's take on Draymond Green.
Yeah, first of all, I gotta tell you, man. I'm sitting here trying to think it through, and I don't know. Please, Spike, what do you got?
Oh man, so he wants to be a film so bad, but he wants to be a blockbuster.
But he also wants to be a blockbuster. But I think he's definitely a film.
He's a film. Is he
a Tarantino movie?
Oh
no, I don't think he is, because part of the thing with the Tarantino movie is that part of the thing that makes it work is that Tarantino has a sort of degree of slickness that like makes the thing sort of coast.
Yeah. There's something too muscular about Draymond.
Yeah. You know what? Here's what I think Draymond is. I think Draymond is Armacord.
Oh,
the Fellini.
Wow. Movie. Yeah.
Because it's sort of like rough hewn and active, and there's like a lot going on, and sometimes there are parts that are a little crass, you know what I mean? But they sort of run up against parts that are really artistic. You know what I mean? And I think that
I do.
And I think that like all of that shit in one movie is a real, and one film, and one like thing that is definitely a piece of art, but is also at the same time like crass and weird and like and sort of like flagrantly an entertainment. I think that's Draymond, while also being like sort of a little grittier.
Yeah.
Wilmes, have you seen Armacord?
No, I haven't, and so I can't follow it too well. But as I asked what Draymond is in these terms, I was thinking he's probably a European product.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only American director I can think of, but he's like there's like some mid-era Scorsese, like
After Hours.
I've never seen After Hours. I don't know what I guess I'm thinking like
King of Comedy?
Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking.
I don't think he's specifically King of Comedy, but I know what you're talking about. 80s Scorsese, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like not quite Goodfellas. He's not quite Goodfellas.
No, because Goodfellas too slick.
Yeah.
LeBron is Goodfellas.
LeBron's even. I feel like I don't even. LeBron is. Oh man, LeBron's so slick though. Yeah, I mean LeBron might be seventh. LeBron might be Kurosawa. Like,
I think LeBron is. First of all, LeBron is a movie.
Yeah, that's right. But like Seven Samurai is like sneaky a movie. Like you're like, oh, Seven Samurai, that's a film. In the way that like Casablanca is sneaky a movie and not a film.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't, guys. Yeah, but like LeBron is. But I mean, LeBron might just.
But
be,
I think Goodfellas is sneaky.
LeBron might just be like fucking Star Wars or like some Spielberg. Like he's Indiana Jones.
Star Wars is a convincing take, I think. Or is he Empire? Is he the best Star Wars?
Yeah, honestly, he's the original trilogy. Maybe his whole career is just the original trilogy.
What are the Ewoks? Are the Ewoks those first years in that first year in Miami?
No, the Ewoks are now. The Ewoks are Lance Stevenson and JaVale McGee.
JaVale McGee is very much an Ewok.
JaVale McGee's the world's tallest Ewok.
I could definitely hear JaVale McGee leaning into a microphone and going, nub, nub. Feel the victory! No, man, the end of Return of the Jedi is so, like, weird tonally, right?
Yeah. It's all over the place.
What about Rondo?
Oh, man.
I haven't actually seen this movie, but I suspect it might be him, and it's more of a film. Would be Werner Herzog's My Best Fiend.
Ooh. Ron is definitely a film. I haven't seen My Best Fiend.
I've also not seen My Best Fiend.
But do you guys know what it is?
Yeah. It's about his relationship with Kinski. I mean, I've seen...
yeah.
I've seen...
we talked about the fact that Werner Herzog crashed my undergrad film studies class one time?
No.
We can talk about that.
Please, go right ahead.
Yeah, he was slated to speak at a conference in North Adams, Massachusetts, which is pretty close to where I went to college, in 2007, in January of 2007. But he just flies in January of 2006, or I might begin the year off by 1, and it's just I'm here. And everyone's like, wait, why are you here? You're a year early. He's like, well, I'm here, so let's do this thing. There's no thing to do. What are we going to do? And they're like, well, we've got this undergrad film class. So he just came and just talked to our film class and tried to impart life lessons to us. But they were like, if you walk anywhere, that's more meaningful. Like when I went to propose to my wife, she was in Italy, but I was in Switzerland. And so I walked.
No, that's fucking cool. You're trying to act like that's not good life advice. That's great life advice.
Yeah. Wait. Yes. No. Obviously, this story about how great my life is. That I got to hear that and have not internalized
from the fucking legend, dude. From the legend of arguably the greatest white man who's ever lived.
Yeah, and he talked about pulling a gun on Klaus Kinski because he wouldn't do what he said.
Yep, uh-huh.
So that's another life lesson. If you're ever directing an actor and he won't do it.
Have you guys seen Aguirre?
Aguirre,
pardon me, I was saying it wrong.
I've seen Mark Aguirre.
Yeah, the movie about Mark Aguirre.
No, have you seen Aguirre, the Wrath of God?
Yes, I have seen Aguirre.
Have you, Wilmes?
No, I have not.
Rondo is not Aguirre, the Wrath of God.
Are you asking? No. If I maybe that's Karl Malone.
No, that's unfair to Aguirre. Because Karl Malone was just so strenuously boring.
Karl Malone is more than boring, though. He's hideous in a way that's not redeeming or interesting.
Yeah.
So he's probably maybe you guys will consider this slander, but he might be a Von Trier movie.
Yes, I was thinking Breaking the Waves.
Yeah,
Breaking the Waves.
I'm with that. I'm with that.
Like,
Or
not
like,
even full torture porn Von Trier, just like generic Von Trier.
Or like an Uri. I'm sorry, I can't remember the guy's name who directed Spring Breakers. Harmony Korine. He might be like an early Harmony Korine.
Gummo.
One of those sort of horrifying exercises in perpetual misery that are just sort of designed.
Rondo is definitely because Rondo's definitely like some bullshit.
I'm with My Best Fiend, but
yeah, I can buy that.
Because also that might be Werner's only real cash in too.
I mean, you can imagine a collaborator of Rondo's pulling a gun on him
100%.
to try to get him to do something.
How could you not?
Yeah.
Then him still not doing it.
Yeah, him still just like having some way to diffuse your gun situation and keep the terrible binary going between the two of you.
Although that literally is what Gilbert Arenas did at one point.
Mm-hmm. Well, kinda. He actually he hung the guns in Crittenton's locker, and he said, "Pick one, we'll duel."
Is that true?
Yes, that is what happened.
How did I not know that that's how that went?
Yeah, that's how that went.
It has been a weird century for the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, right? You know what the fucking best part about it is that they're going to trade Wall sooner or later, probably in the offseason. I was listening to a Zach Lowe podcast today, and they explained the cap thing to me, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll probably get traded in the offseason. But anyway, they're probably going to avoid that team, and they are going to sit and think, fuck, this is it, baby. Now we can really build a real team, and it's not going to fucking happen. They're going to just make another fucking team full of fucking weirdos who can't handle themselves. And it's just going to go on and on.
What do they even get for John? Like, what is John Wall worth?
Oh, nothing. His contract's very bad. It's going to be weird.
Yeah, you're just trying to get... Well, your best bet is that you can trade him to a team that doesn't understand their talent, basically, and get some guys who are better than the team sending them away thinks they are, which might be the Suns.
Oh.
Yeah, they like winning a little too much, so they might be like, yes, let's win. We can put him with Devin Booker. Can you fucking imagine those two playing next to each other?
Right. They would be super hype about it initially because they're like, the Kentucky connection. And then it just wouldn't go well.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I mean, Phoenix will like Kentucky connection 2Ks. That's close to what they like as like a city. So
right. You just need one more K.
Yeah. Kevin Love.
Hey.
Kentucky connection.
He'd be good in Phoenix. They have a good medical staff.
Sure they do. He's going to need one of those.
Yeah.
It's almost, I think it's unconscionable how bad the Suns' uniforms are. They're like just incredibly ugly.
Yeah, they're not great.
The ones in the 90s that they wore were so beautiful.
The Barkley ones? Yeah, they're so out of step with modern design, though.
Well, that's a good thing. Modern design is ass.
Damn, this fucking guy.
It's not the modern design.
Anti-minimalism.
Not necessarily the modern design is ass. It's that the NBA has like this sort of imposed austerity within their design. And it's very clear when they have the city uniforms that better options are possible. Because a large percentage of like these city uniforms are vastly more attractive than what the team wears regularly.
And I think part of it is that Nike makes their uniforms now, and so they're all like transitioning over into these kind of blandish Nike designs instead.
Yeah, it's like I don't think I've ever seen this before, but I think it's planned aesthetic obsolescence.
Oh, they're just trying to keep turning over.
Yeah, they withhold the good shit from you to keep you thirsty, and then they just make you look at crap all the time, and they force you to like it.
Wow.
But will there ever be good stuff?
I mean, there used to be To me,
No, I mean, like going like if this is the plan, will they ever give us a good jersey, or we always be just like left yearning, not getting it?
that's a great question. I think that it's
as long as they work with Nike, man. Like, because Nike is definitely trying to make a bunch of shit that Nike is definitely in the business of, like, how do I explain this? Sort of making little batches of good things and big batches of crappy things. And so if the normal jersey is crappy and the little jersey is not crappy, you know?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, very cool stuff.
I have one more movie. I have one more player movie I need information on.
Mm-hmm.
It's Tyson Chandler.
Oh.
I mean,
journey. Something that's got to relay that, you know, he's a journeyman. He's had many phases.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna throw out Inside Man, like Spike Lee making a movie, like later in his career, sort of peak of his powers, but he's using them for some pulp qualities. I feel like that might be.
I fucking like that take. That's a.
I like that take. Yeah,
you're very good at this game, Spike.
Yeah, that was a good one. You know, I feel like the game is really hard with if we were to start doing it with players who haven't played as many years. We're doing it mostly with veterans. I think it would.
Yeah, I mean, in part because you don't have somebody's story if they haven't been playing for a while. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, like I'm basically just gonna call every rookie Colin Trevorrow and just hope for the best. Hope that they flame out historically. Josh Trank.
Josh what?
Josh Trank.
Oh, Colin Trevor, that dumb director.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it.
Jurassic World, and then got fired from Star Wars. What did Josh Trank direct, though?
The Fantastic Four, where he tweeted about how much it sucked before it even came out.
And then... the Miles Teller Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. has like really good representation. Who's made sure that his name isn't mentioned in reference to that movie. But I remember.
The fact that you just did that is why this podcast is behind the paywall. Because you cannot publicly talk. I
actually think we're going to put this one in front of the paywall. But
oh my god.
Yeah. You know, to you listeners out there.
I live in LA. They're going to come after.
Yeah, they're coming for you, Spike.
The Jordans.
Oh my god. Well, in the hype cycle for Creed 2, you're going to do this to me? My god.
You fucking open the door. You've got a robe on and a cup of coffee in your hand. Several days growth. There's several men. They separate. Michael B. Jordan is standing there. He just takes your eye out.
Let this be a lesson to your other eye, as he's wont to say. It's classic time.
That classic line from all the movies he's in.
Yep.
Who's Thor Ragnarok? Have we done this?
Oh boy!
I feel like
somebody
you guys threw that out. I feel like it's Dirk or something. I don't know.
I like that. That.
I think it's harder. It's harder to take a movie and say who it is than it is to take someone and say what movie they are.
But it's got to just be like dope as hell, like a champion, like
funny. Got to be funny,
hilarious. Yeah,
we're talking. Look, we are talking about Dirk right now.
I mean, that's pretty Dirk-like, what's being described right now.
Is Dirk vaguely anti-imperialist?
I think he's like pretty lefty within like German political structure, so presumably, right? Like he's not like, well, I guess like I don't know. The German political orientation right now is a little confusing to me. I don't know exactly where he falls.
Oh, okay. Do you, Wilmes? I don't think I do either.
What do I understand? Do I know the?
Do you know Dirk's politics?
No, I do not. But you got to think that somebody who is from Germany and has so aggressively embraced Texas as interesting politics, I guess.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
I mean, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. I think it's kind of beautiful the way he loves Texas. But, I don't know. Apparently, he spoofed Donald Trump at one point. I just Googled Dirk Nowitzki politics, and it says Dirk Nowitzki spoofs Donald Trump in a hysterical political ad. So at least he's not into that guy. I would have been pretty surprised if he was.
Yeah, it would have been hard for me.
I would have been really.
He would have been defrocked from the Thor Ragnarok of the NBA.
Certainly.
Oh yeah, he very directly satirizes Trump in this video.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What does he say? Like, Trump, you have a small dick.
It says this article says Dirk Nowitzki wants to make Dallas great again, so he wore a toupee and laid out his plan to bring the Mavs back to the top of the NBA in a fake political ad set to Hulk Hogan's old theme song, "Real America." And there's a GIF here of Dirk wearing the black suit jacket, red tie, and like a fake Trump wig. So it doesn't seem like there's actually any real political.
Did you guys see that weirdo's painting of Trump as a quarterback today?
Mm-hmm.
I did not. That sounds horrible.
Oh, I did. Hillary's on the sideline holding up a "What Happened" banner.
Yeah. You know what?
Chuck,
you know what I will say? That guy got us on that one.
Yeah.
That did happen.
Yeah. It's really too bad. It's really too bad how everything is.
Yeah, the nature of things, the circumstances.
Pretty
they're bad. They're bad.
Yeah, it's not good. Hey, you guys hear about this romaine stuff? E. coli everywhere. Yeah. A beloved lettuce making you shit. Unbelievable.
Fucking nightmare.
Okay, I'm looking at the Donald Trump. Oh, he's like an old school leather helmet football player.
Yeah.
And he's got the number 45. It's not good, dude. It's not good situation.
Bad. He's the 45th president,
Yeah.
And the guys behind him who he's escaped for the touchdown appear to be previous presidents.
I think Chuck Schumer's in there.
Oh, that's got it.
It's actually just various Jews.
And there's a black man behind him on the ground, belly first, who I assume is supposed to be Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the other people on the sidelines is holding a sign that says "Go Blue." So there's that.
Might be Pelosi.
Yeah.
Yeah, not coherent, really.
Hey, Spike, how do you feel about the Mitch Trubisky "love to kiss titties" tweet?
It's a good one. It's a good tweet.
Cool.
Yeah, not really room for a nuanced take on that one.
Yeah, not really. Do you think there's anybody who's like, what a bad tweet?
Well, I mean, I like that he's like just the right amount of good. Like he's growing into having tweeted that in the past as a player. Like he's like pretty good now, but he's still like no one trusts him, which I think is what you want for someone who tweeted that.
Who tweeted, "I love to kiss titties."
Yeah, like you don't want, like, if Aaron Rodgers had tweeted that, you'd be like, man, he's really good at kissing titties. Probably that's a bummer. Or if, like, I don't know, I was gonna throw out Jameis, but that's I don't want to throw out
Eli Manning tweeted it?
Yes. Oh.
It would be a relief.
Yeah, it would finally confirm that he really does have a powerful sexual energy.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it would,
Yeah. All right. Well, this podcast is done.
Yeah, I think we've reached the
Spike. Thank
the
you
end.
for weirdly joining us in the second half of it.
Yeah, no problem. It covered about a third of my commute home. So
are you driving?
Yeah, the whole way, baby.
Wow. Don't tell the police.
Oh, you better believe I'm wearing one of them Bluetooth headsets.
Oh, okay. Well, that's legal, I suppose. Do you have anything to promote, Spike?
I'm behind a red Ford Mustang with a license plate from Idaho that's Peace and Love, spelled PCENLUV.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'm going to promote Yeah, I'm going to promote their car and I guess the Locked On Seahawks podcast. I don't
And the
know
cause of
who's
peace and
listening.
love, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Who's listening to this who gives a shit about the Seahawks? Peace and love, baby. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Please don't send me any more requests for autographs. Peace and love. Wilmes, do you have anything to promote?
Just check out my asshole.
Fucking unbelievable.
Oh my god!
Rate and review this podcast.
Now
on
I have
iTunes.
to do that.
Yeah, you got to.
Fuck, man.
Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/take it or break it. Me and Wilmes just did
God, I had plans for tomorrow.
very
that
fun
didn't
episodes
involve-
about
You got to come all the way to Chicago now,
the
though.
Showtime Lakers.
Ah.
Wilmes, you
I
can't
gotta
even
flip-
meet him. You can't even just meet him halfway. You can't just meet him in Colorado.
Oh, we could do it there.
All right. And you just
And
bend
that's
over.
that much better for me.
You just bend over, spread your asshole. He looks at it. He goes, "Huh." All right.
Call. Yeah, we'll do a live cast.
The Patreon content's really good right now. You guys should listen to it.
The future of content.
The
I said
Patreon.
I said your Patreon.
Oh,
That's
okay.
compliment.
Sorry, I thought you said the. Well, I mean, our Patreon is the future of content. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Get our Patreon, and hey, everyone have a wonderful day.